Gemini.
Gemini, so we're looking at your chart here now for, this is April 2015, and we have a full lunar eclipse here on April 4th. Now, we had that total solar eclipse on March 20th. For those of you listening to this forecast here on the March end, maybe some of you haven't even gone through that total solar eclipse there. But here the lunar eclipse is on the 4th, and for you this is going to be showing up in your 5th house for self-expression, creativity, love and romance, your children and whatnot, the businesses that you own. And so here you can see that this area of your life is going to renew itself. There's new beginnings, a lot to look forward to, because as we have these eclipses, it kind of shuts the door on whatever is completed so that we can get on with and evolve into new areas of our life. This is the area of love and relationships now that's really going to be upping itself. And normally what they say about these eclipses, you will wait like up to a month and a day for it really to unfold for you exactly what these new beginnings are going to be for you particularly. It's going to be 14 degrees in Libra, so Libra has everything to do also with harmony and balance. So you'll probably be looking at how these areas are balancing for you. And if they're not, well, that's probably also where you're going to be working a little bit just to get to that higher quality and dimension in your life here. We have the new moon in your 11th house this month. The new moon is when we place our intentions. And for you, this should be on the 18th in the sign of Aries. And Aries initiates. It's always, you know, that fiery aspect of us that comes to life. And the new moon is also when you want to write that abundance check to yourself. And for those of you who are not doing that, well, I'm going to be posting a small video there, how to write it out for yourself, so you can find out how to attract more financial abundance in your life. We always want to do that on the new moon as well. So that is on the 18th, 28 degrees in Aries. So if you have any other planets in that degree elsewhere in your chart, you might find that that new moon is going to trigger off and spark energy in other areas as well. I can also just mention that the full moon on the 4th is going to be 14 degrees there in Libra. So check your charts to see what other planets you might have, because that full moon eclipse will be triggering off like a domino onto those planets and also filling those areas with new beginnings. So yes, we want to know the degrees of our planets for that reason. We have Sun, Mercury, Uranus, and the new moon in your 11th house this month. The Sun is you. Mercury is your thoughts, your communication. Uranus is all about the changes that's going on in your life that you're renewing. And the 11th house has to do with friends. So circle of friends is where you're going to be using a lot of focus and energy this month. But it also rules the area of hopes and dreams. Also social media and groups and organizations. So this month I just see you being very busy, Gemini, getting everything on track, getting your ducks in a row here. And it's the best time of the entire year for you to actually reach out and affiliate with new groups that can be of great help, support, and wisdom to you for the rest of the year. So any new contacts this month for you that we'll be setting up will also come to be quite supportive of you and the work that you do throughout the rest of the year. Venus and Mars, 12th house, which is the area of your chart where you want to pull back or have the need to pull back. And it's a little hard for you to do this month because everything else is so social. So you're out and about and mingling everywhere, but there's that inner desire of, oh, I just need a little time for myself. So try to find at least a few moments in between so that your inner Venus can feel harmonized. It's the area where Pisces rules, that 12th house. So that's dream time. And we need that downtime, just like ebb and flow of the ocean. If it's just too much going out, we don't really have the balance of flowing inwards again. So if you can do that and do something creative, perhaps listen to some nice music. Venus is in Taurus. Taurus loves music, it loves beauty, it loves harmony, you know, fragrance, oils and essences that you could be burning. Anything that you can do to really spa yourself is going to be extremely healing, as you're going to be powering up your energy for that Venus to get going here later in the month. And then she's going to zoom around your chart for an entire year before she gets this opportunity again. So make the most out of it between now, here, and when is that? The 11th. Okay, so you have those first 2 weeks. Mars is also just on the cusp, knocking on the door to that 12th house, wanting to come in too. Mars will enter this area once every 2 years. And so what you're doing right now is concluding a 2-year journey. So think back, Gemini, what did you start back then? This is what you're concluding now. So it wants to pull back a little bit, some of that outgoing dynamic energy. Mars is always your goals and your drive and your ambitions, right? It's wanting to pull back just a little bit so it can get the overview of where you've been, but also it wants to listen to spirit, which is your best guidance, right? Your higher self. So it wants to take in a little bit of, should I say, inspiration, perhaps. Think about the 12th house Pisces is always your inspiration, that higher entity of who you are in your higher dimension. And so it's listening for a new path that you can carve out when Mars is going to be ready to move into your first house. So you got some time to do that. You have all of April here to actually feel that you can be, shall I say, in a great new place to move forward. So Pluto is in your 8th house, still working on the concepts of sharing resources here with your partner. This is a long-term aspect, so we're not going to be using too much time on it. I do touch upon it a little bit every month, just to make sure that we don't forget the essence of what is transforming on deeper levels in our consciousness. Saturn is now retrograding. It's still in your 7th house. So we're moving backwards a little bit, looking at those close contacts that we have, those people we bond with one-on-one, whether it is a relationship, your significant other, or it could be partnerships as well. So we're looking at how we can tweak to secure and grow these aspects in more of a solid way, I feel. Yeah, so let's take a look at top of the month here for you. Now I did a little change up there last month and put the astro calendar by itself. Some of you loved it, some of you still like it included in the video. So I'm going to do that here so that we can have both groups happy. I'll post a second link too for those of you who wants that separately, just so they can tap in and out of it throughout the month. But April 2nd here, Gemini, for you, your ruler Mercury is in a great aspect to Saturn, which is in that 2nd house. Mercury is in that 11th house. So this is a time for you to negotiate with a close partner, referring to a group, however that works for you. It could be setting up some contracts or negotiating some contracts. I feel that your essence is coming through really strong as the Sun and Jupiter is trining on this day. Jupiter is all about expansion and abundance and feeling both very happy-go-lucky, but in the sense where you're being very generous to those you are speaking with, and receiving the same kind of generosity. So I feel that you're landing on the same page, and so should you have some talks this month, this would be the day to chart in on your schedule. Then here on the 4th, we have the total lunar eclipse, which we have spoken about. On the 5th, a little bit of a challenge when the Sun and Pluto square off on each other. It doesn't have to be a challenge. It could be more so a dynamic day to make up your mind and be sure about what area you're transforming, what it is you want to bring forward. This would be the time to voice it. And I feel once you do bring light to a certain issue, this is going to boomerang back to you already on the next day and in the week to come. Because on the 6th, we have Mercury and Jupiter trining off on each other, and we have the Sun and Uranus conjuncting. This means that there's good news coming back to you. Whatever you negotiated on the 2nd will now come to you as a response. Say if you're looking for a new job, this is just an example. Say you have your interview, Mercury and Saturn on the 2nd, communicating, negotiating something that has good prospects, the Sun and Jupiter, good prospects. You might hear from them back on the 6th, where more communication is now coming in. You tried to secure it with Saturn, but here comes the good news from Jupiter. And it's surprising to you with Uranus because whatever news you're getting has change attached to it, which is that uranium factor. So this could up things. I feel this whole first week of April will be essentially very, very good for most of you Geminis. Then we have Jupiter going direct on the 8th, which has been retrograde now for the better part 4 or 5 months. Jupiter in your 3rd house for communication and short distance travel, and this is also the house that you rule. So you're really lucky. It's just like Jupiter transits through somebody's sign. Well, then that's like a Jupiter to the Sun. You have Jupiter to your house. So it's like having that blessing here for this entire year from last summer until late this summer. So Jupiter now moving forward in the house that you rule, which is going to open up for movement. I see travel can be involved or interaction with people at distant cities, but it could also be foreign countries. International work right now could also be something that could behoove you, or also these foreign people might be something that can come in and be very supportive of what it is you're trying to accomplish. Then we have Venus going into your sign here on the 11th, and that's always that joyful time of the year where you could feel that Venus, the Venetian energy, that female energy, coming up in you where you radiate more beautifully. And this even goes if you're a guy out there, because even men have Venus in their chart. And so you too will come forward with what Venus represents, its love and its understanding and its romance. And it could also be the women around you, Gemini men, that will be now, you know, throwing themselves at you, right? Since Venus now is what you're attracting and giving out. So look out for that. On the 12th, we have Mars sextile Neptune, and Mars being your goals, your direction. It's coupling in here with your hopes and dreams, that Neptunian higher dimension, you following your inner self and trying to find the direction where you're heading. And like I said, it's in your 12th house. So where are you going to find your direction? Through your higher self. It's not out there. Don't look outside of yourself for that inspiration. It's coming in dream time. Write a journal, pay attention to your dreams, or even your daydreams, what it is you're assimilating when you're sitting having a little break. These things will just come to you. It will pour down like an open channel. On the 14th, we got Mercury moving into Taurus, and so she too will be joining the crowd there in the 12th house. and you will definitely be listening even more so now the second half of the month. It's time to be creative. If you work with music, do that. If you work with healing and Tai Chi or yoga, this is the time for it. If you're a writer, listen to it. Write your journals and your manuscript. Great, great creative time here. Think about this being the Piscean house of creativity as well. You can get a lot done and assimilated here in April. The new moon, time for that abundance check on the 18th, 28 degrees in Aries. So like I said, pay attention to what other planets you have at 28 degrees. It might just trigger off on those planets as well. Then we have Mars and Pluto here trine. That is a dynamic day to pay attention to. Both the 21st and the 22nd, you can actually come to achieve a lot of physical achievements on this day. Your energy is running super high. That is Mars. Pluto transforms things, so you can really go, whatever you touch, you will feel that you can complete something. It's like a great time to do physical work, like physical labor in the yard. You can get it all done within a few hours and really feel that you are aligned with this energy. And the 22nd too, because Mercury is going to be conjunct Mars. So you'll feel how your mind is going to kick in a mile a minute as far as thinking up how you can strategize and change elements in your life, specifically here between the 12th and the 8th house. So that could also be how you cooperate with other people at a more deeper, intimate level. The 8th house is always intimacy. It's the house of Scorpio, but it's in the sign of Capricorn. So we want to see how can you change things up that can secure you with Capricorn, secure you with not just intimacy, but those things of loyalty that this house rules, in a way that you can feel safe on the inside. That's the 12th house, right? So great time here, 21st, 22nd. On the 26th, we got Venus, which is love, and it's also money, with an unexpected, exciting insight or news on the 26th, here when it's sextiling Uranus. Uranus being in your 11th house, and Venus now here in your 1st house. So that should be you, and together with somebody of your friends, or maybe a group, or some affiliate that you're working with. There could be news coming in these areas for you at the end. And I'll see you next month. Have a good one, Gemini.